Jeff Weeks and Vaughan Mabry, and the Perth Wildcats, working to the right of your screen, have controlled the tip. They'll have first use of the ball here, looking to build on their victory 2 nights ago against the Jeff Weeks and Vaughan Mabry, and the Perth Wildcats, working to the right of your screen, have controlled the tip. They'll have first use of the ball here, looking to build on their victory 2 nights ago against the Brisbane Bullets. David Bailey works the shot clock down to single numbers, now penetrates, takes on Campbell, and David Bailey open scoring.
Woo. And they look so tough when he is aggressive with the dribble penetration. He looks like he's set to set the tempo of this game.
Ballinger goes to Ben Castle, who moves into the starting lineup in the absence of Glenn Saville. Groves with some problems, double team by Redditch and Bailey. Now Rampton, the Kiwi dual Olympian, goes to work on Ronaldson, makes it tumble. Called for a foul on Ronaldson, who can't believe it. A chance at a three-point play.
2 good plays by both of these clubs. Started off with David Bailey turning the corner on the other end, and watch the 5'8" man take the bump in the finish. That's fantastic.
Rampton can't make the back end. Crawford with the athletic rebound. Bailey against Cortez Groves. Good matchup. Now Shanahan, who led all scorers on Wednesday night. Redditch gives it back to Shanahan, a former Wollongong player, off the front of the rim, and Ballinger grabs the rebound. Groves has Rampton and Campbell quickly up the floor. And now Groves bouncing off defenders, fires unsuccessfully. And the Perth Wildcats keen to run as well. They are pumped up. Shanahan, guarded by Matt Campbell, who plays his 350th match tonight in the NBL. Ronaldson set Redditch a task he wasn't up to it. And now Groves with Ballinger and Castle joining in. Ronaldson marshalling Ballinger away from the hoop. Now the big man goes back for seconds. Here's Ben Castle, who's been on fire recently. Rattles around the rim, jumped out. Rampton got a piece of the action, but it's Bailey with Shanahan working hard. Almost 2 minutes played as Tony Ronaldson fires from deep unsuccessfully. Redditch, the offensive rebound, goes to Crawford. He slips inside Ben Castle, and from close range does a good job to come up with another 2.
Great hands by Redditch. Perth did a good job against Brisbane in surprising them with extended pressure.
Redditch thought he did enough here to win possession back for the Wildcats as Rampton comes up with the goods at the other end. He's had a good season, Tony Rampton, top 10 in the league in rebounding, 13 points per game. Discarded by Cairns. He's found a home here with the Hawks as Groves gets plenty of attention. Now Ballinger from deep off the front of the rim. Castle, the offensive rebound, retreats away from the taller Redditch. The Hawks 1 of 4 from the field here after 2.5 minutes as Groves again attracts a double team. Ballinger works inside Ronaldson, gets a good look at it, can't finish. And the Wildcats off and running again. Bailey has Redditch up the floor quickly. They've caught Wollongong napping, and the Perth Wildcats lead by 4.
That's when Perth looks so good, and that's why they get such a balanced scoring attack, because they can all run the floor, and Bailey does a great job of getting the ball to guys and rewarding them when they run.
Ben Castle against Crawford. Picks up the dribble. Now Campbell, top of the key. Looks down low with Rampton and Ronaldson are wrestling. Ray Hunt, the 4-time referee of the year, gets involved, and the foul is going to be called on Tony Ronaldson.
Bailey involved early again, getting the ball to Sean Redditch in transition. And Tony Ronaldson picks up a foul on the other end of the floor, and they get his second personal foul, and they get Paul Rogers in, who performed very well against Brisbane.
Shanahan fighting off a screen, went upstairs against Rampton in retaliation and was caught by Vaughan Mabry. He's pumped up for this game, Matt Shanahan. Won a championship here with Wollongong in 2001. Was discarded in 2003 when they wanted to bring in Matt Garrison. Asked to be an assistant coach, and he fulfilled that role for some 6 weeks before he was picked up by the Cannons. And he would like to make the Wollongong Hawks pay. This is Groves, who's been 50% from long range against the Perth Wildcats this season. and the leading scorer in the league, averaging 24 per game. That's a nice confidence boost for Cortez Groves. In his only other season in the NBL, he was top 3 in scoring, but when it came to the playoffs, he was a bust against Perth, got nothing done, as Shanahan shows the confidence he's riding on at the moment.
Hard closeout to him because he can shoot the 3, and if he can finish like that when he puts it on the floor, watch out.
3-time championship winner Matt Shanahan. He's been underestimated by some people in the past, and he's making them pay. Rampton, a man on a mission at the moment, went straight at former MVP Paul Rogers, drawing contact and is off to the free throw line.
Look at this strong finish. One dribble goes hard. Nice little floater over the top of the rim. Look at some guys ready to play here. Rampton's another one. Hasn't he been impressive, putting the basketball on the floor very aggressively.
Matt Campbell, the restart for the Hawks, has to retreat a long way. Played almost 4 minutes in the opening term. Wildcats with a 3-point buffer. And Groves, guarded by Shanahan, goes to Campbell. He fires from deep, and in game number 350, Matt Campbell gets the job done early.
He needs to get about 20. I just looking out there, and without Saville, they miss his ball handling, and of course they miss his scoring.
Redditch having Ballinger on the retreat, getting the offensive rebound as well. Good battle between those two, and at the moment Redditch is getting the better of it. He has 4, Ballinger yet to score. Perth back in front by 2. As Crawford works away at the ball. Campbell again firing, and Soupy Campbell, the captain, leading by example. He gives Wollongong the lead for the first time in the game.
And that's what's going to happen if they have to double team to get the ball out of Cortez Groves' hands. Good hands by Cortez with the D.
Groves off and running, has Crawford and Redditch to beat. Hard to the rack, and gets the tumble as well. 5 in the game now for Groves. The Hawks have scored the last 5 and lead by 3.
They're going to need a big one out of him. And look at that D as he picks him clean and gets the great finish on the other end.
Rogers has Crawford in the corner, working on Pencastle again, penetrating. Tough shot from Crawford, couldn't finish it off. Rogers with a piece of it, knocking it out of court. Nice body work there from Ballinger. And as a result, the Hawks will get possession. Again, pressure up the floor here, and the Hawks have been caught napping again. Campbell provides the outlet, working on Shanahan, kicks to Rampton. Double team. Bailey getting in the passing lane, denying the ball that was intended for Ballinger. And with Campbell on the retreat, has lost control of it. Groves scoops up the loose ball. Players rush back on D. Nice work from Groves as he spoon feeds Ballinger for his first score in the game.
Nice dish. Wollongong running the floor. Everything is keyed off of Wollongong's defense.
Hawks have scored the last 7. Groves is called for the first foul on Wollongong. Perth have committed 4 already. And Groves averages 4 fouls per game to be top 10 in the league in that category.
Such a prolific scorer. And he has the ability, a rare ability, to can jump shots and also finish going to the hole.
Excellent D there from Ballinger, denying Sean Redditch, but Perth will get it back. Middle stages of this first period.
Well, Sean Redditch has made something out of nothing already on a couple of possessions. Had his shot blocked. That does not discourage him at all. He continues to pound forward. That's why he's so difficult to guard. He's quick, he can shoot the 3, and he's relentless with his effort.
Well, Redditch was kept quiet on Wednesday night, had only 11 points. He leads Perth this season with 20 per game. So he is out to rectify that tonight. And Rogers from close range gets the pass from Redditch and dunks on the Wollongong Hawks. That snaps a 7-0 run from Wollongong. But they've been up to the challenge. Wollongong are ready to go. As Groves shakes Bailey, couldn't finish it. Pencastle gets the rebound and the putback to open his scoring account.
Brennan Joyce is just screaming it. Jeff Weeks over there about David Bailey was just blatantly holding Cortez Groves on that drive. He had two hands in his chest.
Bailey left alone from long range, comes up for the triple. That brings Perth right back into the equation. Referees in the 2 playoff matches so far have let them play those, Steve. They've been consistent.
That's true.
Ballinger to Campbell, getting close attention from Matt Shanahan. Shot clock rolls to 10 seconds now as Rampton hands off to Groves. Rogers and Bailey in tandem give him some heat, but Groves is ready to fire from long range. It's way off the mark, and Crawford leads the charge for Perth. Redditch in support. Crawford goes coast to coast. Good deep from Matt Campbell, worried him out of the points as Castle and Groves have a 2-on-2 fast break. Cortez against Bailey, confronted by Rogers. Kicks to Campbell. Now Rampton back to the danger man, and Groves dances into the paint. Took 3 of them on. Couldn't finish it. Ben Castle from close range should have done better. And now a foul is going to be called on Sean Redditch as he brings Ben Castle to the floor. That's 5 fouls on Perth. And we've played just 7.5 minutes.
Ben Castle misses one he should have made. I don't know about that. And there was definitely some contact. But did he call an unsportsmanlike? I mean, I know he was like he was holding him, but that couldn't have been unsportsmanlike.
4:32 left in this period. Let's get the thoughts of Adam Capehorn and Tony Ronaldson, who told us pre-game about the keys to winning tonight.
I think one of the big keys to tonight's game is getting on the boards and combating their big guys that are a bigger team than we are. And we try to control the game on the boards and turn their bigs into an advantage for us by making it into a running game and trying to take them off the dribble as much as we can.
Well, Scott Fisher with the instructions there.
I was just wondering how Tony Ronaldson was doing that. It was like you go through a drive-through and do that.
Well, certainly Tony Ronaldson's experience. He's played more playoff games in the NBL than any other player. And he did take control post-Brisbane, revving his team up. He loves the playoffs. Best time of the year, he tells us. And he is in the running to be named in the Australian team, which will be named on Sunday. The final 12 for the Commonwealth Games. And Ronaldson's performances in the past couple of weeks have done his chances no harm. And now with Glenn Saville out of the Commonwealth Games equation, Brian Goorjian just has another thing on his plate.
It seems as if Brian Goorjian tries his hardest not to put Tony Ronaldson on that Australian team. But with his play, he just can't be denied. He's such a big game player and does all those little things. You know, you say that about guys who don't have a lot of talent. Does all the little things so well, but he really does do all the little things well.
Boucher against Campbell in a good battle. Now Bailey double teamed by Pillen and Groves. They look inside for Rogers. Ball knocked out of court by Matt Campbell. 11 on the shot clock. But it would appear Perth, now this can't be right.
Ball
deflected. Has called the ball in Wollongong's favour. Mild confusion here. I thought that Matt Campbell got a foot in there and they should be resetting the shot clock for Perth. Let's get a look at it.
That ball blatantly. And Ray Hunt standing right there. What the hell is he looking at? Was he nervous?
Here's Pillen rolling to the hoop, needing help though. Ballinger provides it. Groves may have travelled. That goes unwhistled against Boucher. Elevates for the jump shot, knocks it down. Groves has 7. But the Hawks are getting the rub at the moment.
God, no kidding.
Less than 4 minutes to play in this opening period. Sudden death. Quarterfinal. Boucher to Redditch, banging bodies with Ballinger. Goes to the hook shot, and that was vintage Sean Redditch.
This one I'm talking about the Perth Wildcats staying composed, though, because they are getting hosed with the calls, and they still are keeping their heads, and a good high percentage shot by their leading scorer. Campbell
taking on the shorter Bailey, feeds Ballinger from long range. He knocks it down. The Wollongong Hawks are 4 of 7 from deep at 57%.
They're really letting the game come to them. They've been very good here in the early stages.
They've taken the wind out of the Perth sail, but only momentarily, because David Bailey has other things on his mind. He's 2 of 2 from long range.
He's in a groove, isn't he?
Finished the regular season with a career-high 35, including 8 of 15 threes, which equaled the Perth record set earlier in the season by Tony Ronaldson. He's off and running again, the smallest man in the competition. Wollongong by 4. Little over 2.5 minutes left, term number 1. Ben Castle with his hands full. Boucher beyond his range, looking for passing lanes. Crawford thought he was fouled by Groves. No joy for him. Pillen quickly up the floor is rewarded with his first score in the game.
Boucher's had some good games. For a guy that never looks for a shot, somehow he finds his ability to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim.
Redditch has come to play. He has 8 points on 4 of 6 shooting so far in the game, but Wollongong by 4. As Pillen works on Redditch, kicks to Ben Castle, who moves inside Crawford, drew the attention from Redditch as well.
That's a good look by Ben Castle. And, I get the feeling that Wollongong aren't going to play any better than this, and Perth are hanging in there just like they did with that quick start against the Brisbane Bullets. They just kept their composure, just as they have in this game where they haven't gotten any calls. Kept their composure, getting high percentage shots and staying close. It's a 4-point game. If you didn't have the scoreboard up there, you'd be thinking Wollongong were up by a lot.
Well, on Wednesday night, Perth had 4 fouls at half-time in Brisbane. They've got 5 already in the match, in fact 6 in this opening period. As Shanahan gets some treatment from the former Willerton Jr., Adam Caporn, and he's barking at the referees as well. Shanahan, Perth think they're getting absolutely nothing. And when you consider that Wollongong have committed just 1 foul so far in the match, they may have a beat. Boucher to Liam Rush into the game in the first period, and Liam Rush peels off 2.
And everybody just on the same page for Perth coming into the game, getting to the areas and playing with confidence. Wollongong are just running the floor. They're being very aggressive too.
Aggressive work from Troy Pillen, finding Ballinger in a confined space. With Perth playing with just 1 starter on the floor at the moment, and that's Matt Shanahan. Minute 40 left in the first period.
Wollongong getting it done from the 3-point line. They've got 4 3-pointers already, shooting at 50%. Wildcats shooting 61% from the field.
And there's a despondent Glenn Saville, who went into the doctor's surgery today expecting an arthroscope and to be back for the grand final if Wollongong could get that far, and then the Commonwealth Games. And when he woke up and the anaesthetic wore off, the doctor told him the bad news, that it was a lot worse than they had anticipated. He'll be on crutches for 6 weeks, 2 months of rehab, and hopefully back for the August World Championships. But the Commonwealth Games dream is over for Glenn Saville, as is this NBL season. Shot clock to 7 now as Rogers gets the low catch from close range, couldn't finish it. Nice hustle from Burston, doing enough to keep it alive for Boucher. And Perth with another opportunity. Boucher inside to Rogers, who was there for a long time. Now Rush trying to force the issue. Good D from Wollongong at the moment, though, keeping the Wildcats at bay. Shanahan with 5 on the shot clock. Got inside Caporn, knocks it down. That is an excellent play from Matt Shanahan.
What a heads-up play. He was totally aware of how much time was on the shot clock, and he got it up with enough time to get an offensive rebound too. If he doesn't get that call and he misses the shot, they still had enough time. Put that thing back up and in.
2-point ball game, less than 60 seconds to play. Term number 1. Caporn against Shanahan. Now Campbell. Hawks have got John Phillip into the game as well, and he's been shooting the lights out from long range. Shot clock to single numbers now for Caporn, harassed by Rogers. Rice at the top of the key is invited to fire. Couldn't finish it. Burston grabs the rebound. Shanahan has numbers working for him. Now taking on Rice down low, finding Burston arriving, and he draws a foul. Matt Burston is off to the free throw line.
He's just coming at you. Hey guys, they got guys coming off the bench as well as Wollongong. Both of these teams are doing a great job. And what can you say? The Hawks are shooting 50% from the field. The Cats are shooting 60 and still down. This game's being played at a high rate. Both teams working the lanes, really doing a good job of getting it up the floor and trying to get at him before the defense can get set.
Perry Lakes junior Matt Burston ties the ball game away with his first points in the match. It's 29 apiece. Wollongong has led at quarter time in 2 of the 3 matches these teams completed in the regular season and won all 3. The shot clock 2 and a bit seconds inside the game clock as Wollongong run their offense. Caporn finds Campbell, a danger, this time off the front of the rim, and Boucher snatches it away from Ballinger. Shanahan looks for the clock. It shows 4 seconds, has rushed down low, and the Perth Wildcats have snatched the lead right on the quarter-time buzzer. They close out the first term on a 7-0 run, and at quarter-time it's Perth 31, Wollongong 29, here on Fox Sports.
I know they're only up by 2. That's a big, big play. Mentally, they handled everything Wollongong threw at them, and Wollongong were looking good very early in that quarter. They were able to withstand that, stay with them, and then take the lead on a very good heads-up play by the experienced Matty Shanahan. That was very impressive. He knew exactly how much time was on the clock, as well as Liam Rush. He didn't rush once he got to it. He didn't rush, you know, like that. Once he got the ball, he didn't rush, knew how much time he had, and was able to finish that play off. What a very good quarter of basketball by the Perth Wildcats. Very confident, just riding on that wave of confidence as they did against the Brisbane Bullets. Looked very similar to the first quarter that we saw in Brisbane. These guys are playing together. Whoever's on the court, it just doesn't seem to matter. They're playing the same style of basketball. Very impressive. And that man right there, Matty Shanahan, very good quarter for him. David Bailey started off well. Tony Ronaldson, the only one really quiet in that one because he caught 2 quick fouls and had to sit down. And PR, Paul Rogers, picked up where he left off. And I've been impressed by Paul Rogers. He's a guy who has not played well. His confidence was down, but his effort level has been there. And the last couple of games, he looks as if he's looking to make his contribution wherever he has to make it. Crowd's flat, too.
Well, Scott Fisher used the word composure after the Brisbane win, and that's what they showed here in the first period. They weren't rattled at all when the Wollongong Hawks went out to a 7-point lead, and the Wildcats closed it out on a 7-0 run of their own to snatch the lead 31-29 here as we move into the second quarter.
I know it's a 2-point game, but I really believe that Cortez Groves has to get at least 30 to match Perth on the scoreboard tonight.
He's got 7 in the first term. If he maintains that clip, he'll get 28. Matt Campbell. Now Groves. Shot clock works to single numbers for Wollongong as Groves goes to work. And an offensive foul is called on Adam Ballinger as he crashes into Matt Shanahan. First personal for Adam Ballinger. And the Wildcats, 7 fouls to 3 in the first period, turned the ball over 5 times to 1, but shot it at 62% to take a 2-point buffer. Ronaldson yet to score in the match, kicks to Crawford, who works on Matt Campbell, and Campbell is called for the foul. Crawford forcing the issue. He was another player down on his numbers on Wednesday night, had just 4 points. He wants to make amends as well.
And I don't know what Matt Campbell could have done any better on that one. But that just goes to show you that if you're aggressive, you get some breaks. If you're tentative, you don't. You don't get any breaks when you're tentative.
Crawford 67% from the free throw line this season, the most improved player in the league last year, and led the NBL in steals as well. Can't complete the back end, but Burston got a piece of it and did enough to win it back for Shanahan. Now Burston, despite an awkward pass, adds another 2.
Even though that pass was very awkward, he tipped it and looked around to see where the defense was and just took his time. They're playing with so much composure.
Wildcats by 5, their biggest lead in the match so far, as Groves works on Matt Shanahan. Rampton and Burston wrestling under the hoop. No whistle provided as yet, but it seems inevitable the way the big men are going at it at the moment. And now Shanahan with his foot on the accelerator, down to the baseline, corralled by Groves. Ronaldson and Ballinger going at it now. And Ronaldson double team, kicks it to Liam Rush, who pulls the trigger on the long range 3. It's off the money. Ronaldson keeps it alive, and good work from Liam Rush. And now Crawford with an open look from deep, can't finish it either, and Ben Castle with the rebound. Pushing it up the floor for Wollongong, takes on Burston, who will be called for the foul, his first in the game.
I know Burston doesn't have the foot speed to stick with Ben Castle, but right here he's beat. Make Ben Castle make a spectacular play. He's not great at finishing. He's the three-point shooter. He'll put it on the floor and be looking for somebody to pass to. But he would have had to make a very quick, tough reverse layup on that one if he was able to avoid fouling it.
90 seconds played, term number 2. Wollongong yet to add to their quarter time tally. As Adam Caporn goes to work against his former favourite team, and Caporn opens his scoring account. Bailey back into the game. Feeds Crawford. He finds Shanahan. Now Burston muscling up against Rampton, running out of room. Bailey inside Caporn, and now from close range, Burston can't get it to tumble, but he's off to the free throw line, and again aggressive penetration from David Bailey, creating problems for Wollongong.
Well, he sells it too. This is Caporn spinning to the hoop. That's a good move. You know, he's not a post-up player, so I don't like to see it too often when a guard tries to post up even a very smaller guard, much smaller guard like David Bailey, if that's not your game. But strong dribble penetration, spin, get to the rim, and shoot over a smaller opponent. I like that a whole lot more.
Perth back to a 5-point edge, a little over 2 minutes done in term number 2. Groves takes on Shanahan, found an opening despite Peter Crawford. Upstairs, Cortez Groves for the dunk.
Man, that's another one of those instances where he didn't even make a move. He's so quick, he just exploded past him on the baseline.
Shanahan finds Ronaldson, who works inside Ben Castle, and from close range, the Bear couldn't finish it, but Matt Burston can with a tip in. What a start to the match for Matt Burston. 8 points in the game. Caporn to Ballinger, who works inside Ronaldson. Now Rampton against Burston, forces away down low, couldn't finish it though, and Shanahan and Bailey have Caporn on the retreat, and Caporn did an excellent job to defuse what looked like an easy 2 for Perth.
Bounce pass Matty Shanahan should have done right here. Just get out of the picture because Cortez Groves throwing one down. One of the very few guards in the league that can throw it down in a half-court situation.
Crawford working on Ben Castle, wraparound pass of Burston. It bounced off his foot, but he regathered it and now is into double figures. Leads the game at the moment, and Perth have a 7-point buffer.
Remember when Burston was getting 20, 30 points? That's how he did it. Just great knack for the ball, great hands.
Groves double team, puts up a tough one, thought he was fouled by Bailey and then crashed into Ronaldson, and Bailey with his quicks at the other end takes the hit from Ballinger, gets the 2, a chance for a 3-point play.
He is hooping. Oh man. The little fella just launches his body up, and watch the body control on this one. He takes the hit, protects the basketball, and puts it up nice and soft off the glass. Sorry, Case, I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy, but I was excited on that one and popped him upside the head.
Player of the week, David Bailey, putting on a show here, and the Perth Wildcats with a 9-point lead. It's the biggest margin we've seen in the match so far.
Another look at that. Look at the body control. He's showing you how strong he is. Do a couple of push-ups. He's an entertainer, too. Loyola of Chicago, same school that Andre Moore went to.
Get it done, boys. Let's get it done.
Hey, I want to run a lot of hand-ups. Okay, look at Cortez. We got pull through. Okay, if you haven't got that, then you can on-ball, right? Tezza, try and come up balls his side. Okay, even if he has to go through twice, you make sure he come up balls his side. If we go fist Benny, you're going to be the first screener. Come on, boys. All right, let's go. Stay with it now. Let's go, boys.
Mild sense of urgency from Brendan Joyce, two-time coach of the year. 7th all-time in wins in the National Basketball League, Brendan Joyce, and with a 5-1 head-to-head lead over Scott Fisher. He and assistant coach Eric Lowe with plenty to discuss at the moment. Bailey to the free throw line. He already has 10 points in the game. And this for a double-figure lead for the Perth Wildcats.
Perth aren't doing anything spectacular, but they're playing with a lot of poise and getting good shots up every single time. And you have to question whether Wollongong will be able to match the points that the Perth Wildcats are going to put on the board tonight.
And 12 points to 4 since quarter time. Shot clock to single numbers. Ballinger against Burston. Campbell, nice ball movement to Castle from deep, and he overcooked it a little.
Savile's that extra ball handler, that extra guy that can create. Right now, Cortez Groves is on his Pat Malone every single time. He has to create something for his team, draw a double team for one of his teammates to have an open look or a good seal. Perth, they have a number of guys that are creating space and drawing double teams.
Bailey picks up the dribble, looks for Ronaldson. Whistle provided here by Ray Hunt, and a foul is going to be called on John Phillip. And that is the 5th team foul on the Hawks here, and we've played a tick over 4 minutes of term number 2.
Scott Fisher doing a good job of working the sideline over there. Tony Ronaldson was being held, and he was just not going crazy, like to get a technical foul, but working it, making sure that he saw that Tony Ronaldson was being guarded illegally. And Bear is a monster to try and guard down on the low block. He seals better than anybody in the league.
Good wrestle for the loose ball, spills to Bailey. He knocks down the 2, draws another foul on John Phillip. He's off to the stripe again. All 173 centimeters of David Bailey, and he is monstering the Wollongong Hawks at the moment.
You got short man's complex. Simple as that. He's not afraid to go up with the big timber. And that's what he does. He leans in, protects the basketball. You just can't lunge at him and try and block his shot. Better to try and come from the weak side.
Wildcats have scored the last 10 points here. They lead by 13. And the Wollongong Hawks have got major problems, says Crawford. Slaps at the ball from Campbell, and now Groves. Shot clock to single numbers again for the Wollongong Hawks. A little stagnant in their offense. It's a one-man show from Cortez Groves. He's into double figures. Perth running back hard the other way, though. And Ronaldson wants it against the rookie John Phillip. Double teamed. Crawford decides to pull the trigger from deep. Couldn't finish it off. And Ballinger working hard. Gets the ball back for Wollongong. Capehorn working in the Campbell direction. From deep, he fires and comes up for the goods. The captain is 3 of 4 from long range.
See, that's what Cape Horn has to do. That time, he put it on the floor, drew an extra defender to get Matt Campbell open. Cortez Groves needs some help with creating some opportunities to score. Bailey drives it a hole again.
Shanahan, guarded by Cape Horn, kicks back to Crawford, who's overdue. 5 on the shot clock. He knocks down the triple.
First bench is up every single time one of their teammates takes a shot.
Cape Horn picks up the dribble, goes to Campbell as they exchange passes. Again, the shot clock works to single numbers now for the Wollongong Hawks. It's Ballinger from deep. That rims out. Campbell after the loose ball and draws a foul on the Perth Wildcats. Brendan Joyce not thrilled with the refereeing at the moment.
His team does not need a technical foul right now. They're getting good shots. They're just rimming out. Got to persevere and try and get a couple of stops on the other end.
Campbell in a mismatch against Redditch. Has an opening down on the baseline. Now running into Peter Crawford, who is called for another foul. It's the 4th on Perth in this term.
I think Wollongong catch a break there. That's not Matt Campbell's strong suit. Put the ball on the floor and create, even if it's going against a big.
That was in fact Perth's 3rd foul in this period. Wollongong already over the limit as Campbell works into a double team. Ballinger pulling the trigger from deep. Again can't finish. Cape Horn somehow kept it alive, but only as far as Dylan Boucher, and Bailey off and running. Only Ronaldson ahead of him in terms of teammates. Couldn't finish the 3. Redditch arrives late to keep it alive with the offensive rebound. Lurking on the baseline. Caught the back of the rim. Ronaldson, the OR, and Perth with another opportunity. Wildcats are killing Wollongong in the rebounding department at the moment. It's 21-9 and 9 offensive rebounds to 4 as Redditch goes to work on Phillip and adds another 2. He's into double figures. Perth reached the half century, still 5.5 minutes to play in this second period. Phillip, who's been streaky from long range, can't get that to tumble. Now Crawford in traffic. Quick whistle from Jeff Weeks, looked like a make-up call to me. And Phillip has picked up his 3rd personal.
He probably upset he missed that wide open look. He's been shooting the ball extremely well for Wollongong to cushion the blow of Glenn Saville not suiting up for the Hawks in the last couple games.
And Saville averaged 14 points per game, 8 rebounds, top 10 in the league, assists, top 5 in steals. And he and Matt Campbell are the only 2 players left on the Wollongong roster from their championship win in 2001. And interestingly, since they won the 2001 championship, Wollongong have beaten playoff teams in Townsville 4 times, but they've lost 9 matches against 4 other teams. Boucher and Rampton, the 2 New Zealanders going at it. And it's the 4th team foul now on Perth in this period. 5 minutes and 7 seconds left until half-time. Wildcats have it under control. They lead by 14. They've scored the last 6 in this run and have completely dominated this second period. 21-9. The tip in from Adam Ballinger breaks the drought.
Good tip, of course, but also good drive, good pull-up by Cape Horn. Under control, and that's a shot that he will make.
Crawford, guarded by Matt Campbell. And now Redditch working on Rampton. Getting into the paint with some fancy footwork from long range. It tumbles for Sean Redditch, who's 6 of 9 from the field for his 12 points. Well, the Wildcats have got all the answers at the moment. Cape Horn against Ronaldson. Rampton wrestling with Bailey down on the low block in the mismatch of the season. And Bailey called for the foul as well. Chance at a 3-point play here for Tony Rampton.
Good recognition. Bailey in all kind of trouble.
And timeout called. 4 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock here until half-time. Perth lead it by 12, having outscored Wollongong 23-13 since quarter time.
Could be a lot worse. I think Wollongong did a good job at the defensive end of the floor to cushion this blow a little bit more. It could be at least 20.
If we fist and they're switching on the roll, we got to stay spread, pump it in like that. Okay?
If they switch, ball's picking me up, the ball's here to stay.
Right? You've got to stay wide. The last couple of minutes is much, much better. All right? You're competing harder on the boards and you're playing deep. All right? Right here on the free throw, let's get a good aggressive trap. Remember, the last 2 minutes of this quarter, you've got to really focus and finishing strong. It's important, the last couple of minutes of each quarter. Let's look at fist on the run, Tony.
Yeah.
Okay, oh, we're coming down. Hand up or fist.
Hey, let's back it early.
They do look a lot better when Cape is aggressive, not necessarily taking shots, which I think he should be looking to do. But when he turns the corner or forces a switch, then they get the mismatch with Rampton down low, and then Cortez doesn't have to work so hard every time he catches the basketball to try and shake and create something. That man right there is a key figure in tonight's game. If he can create and get into the paint and get his teammates some open looks, that'll take a big burden off of Cortez Groves, and he won't be so tired in the fourth quarter. Maybe he can hit some shots down the stretch.
That was the first free throw Wollongong have taken in this period. We've played almost 8 minutes. The Wildcats have taken 10 free throws since quarter time. It's a 12-point ball game. Boucher to Redditch, who's unstoppable at the moment, helps himself to another 2. He has 14 and is cooking with gas.
He's a tough cover. Very tough for Rampton. He's just too mobile.
And Perth lead by 14, and that's what Redditch has individually at the moment as Rampton goes to work on him. Rogers comes with a second wave of D, but the foul called on Redditch. That will be his second personal. Free throws to come now for the Wollongong Hawks.
And that's what Rampton has to do on this end. Good close catch, nice seal, make him play a physical game down on the other end. Because Redditch is fleet-footed, and he is going to outrun, and he's much more mobile, and he's got good range, and he's hot too. Make him play some D and get into some foul trouble on the other end with that matchup with Sean Redditch.
Tony Rampton, the 2-time Olympian, doubled his points production this season since leaving Cairns with the extra minutes in a starting role. The Perth by 13. They get the ball out of Bailey's hands, but Boucher crashes into Campbell, almost lost it. And now Redditch to Bailey. Looking for Rogers, active hands from Rampton, did an excellent job to cut out the pass, and now Capehorn with numbers in support. Looks for the penetration against Boucher. He got away with a bump there, and Redditch grabs the rebound. And Perth are stifling Wollongong at the moment. That pass for Rogers didn't do him any favours, and Rampton is there again. This time Groves has Capehorn available. Campbell penetrating back to Groves, who takes his 13th shot in the game, hits the 3. Big play from Cortez Groves, the leading scorer in the league this year.
And Brendan Joyce is riding that one in. Although he took the hit, that thing never looked like missing. This extended pressure by Wollongong is doing a good job of getting the basketball out of David Bailey's hands.
The Hawks have scored the last 5 to get the deficit down to single digits. As Redditch takes on Rampton. Nice finish as well. Got it off quickly to beat the D, and Redditch continues to impress now with 16 in the game, 8 in each of the first 2 quarters so far.
You see how Perth keep making adjustments? They're just keeping it open for Sean Redditch as Cortez Groves starting to catch fire.
Groves has 10 of the 20 that Wollongong have put together in this second period. But it's Perth by 9. Shanahan working against Cape Horn. Now Redditch is ready to go against Ballinger once more. And Redditch has 18 points in the match. Cape Horn to Ballinger. Now Cortez Groves guarded by Crawford. Trying to find an opening down to the baseline with a non-preferred left hand. Couldn't finish it. Bailey grabs an athletic rebound against good opposition. Shanahan streaking to the hoop. And a foot violation is called on Wollongong. Less than 2 minutes left until half-time. David Bailey saying he was fouled grabbing the rebound there at the other end. Rampton sits down, replaced by Troy Pillen. Wollongong using a smaller lineup here. Ballinger will guard Rogers. Pillen will try and contain Redditch because no one else has been able to, and Redditch wants to take him on as well and draws a foul on Troy Pillen. Redditch off to the free throw line for the first time in the match.
I always thought Perth did a good job of getting the basketball to the guy that's hot. And Sean Redditch is hot. And he is getting the ball every time with a lot of space.
What a job the Perth Wildcats have done. Redditch was a cast-off from the New Zealand Breakers. Matt Shanahan, a cast-off. Peter Crawford, cast-off from Townsville. Dylan Boucher, not wanted in New Zealand. But they're making plenty of noise at the moment. Lead back to 13. Little over 90 seconds out from half-time. Groves against Crawford, getting a screen from Troy Pillen. He's keen to fire, couldn't finish it. Rogers ushers the ball out of court.
Timeout on the court by Wollongong. That is a great timeout because they had been doing a very good job of getting good shots. And Cortez Groves, although he has a lot of freedom, got the green light. That's a bad shot in that situation. They really needed to get a good one, get it through sets of hands, and get a high percentage shot.
Well, the Hawks have had a very good record against Perth this year. In their 3 matches, they have won 3 of the 4 quarters in each of those games. And they did finish with a superior record, 19-13. Wollongong to finish 3rd. Perth 16-16 to finish 7th. And have lost their last 4 against Wollongong. But at the moment, a lot of optimism for the Hunter Pirates. But at this stage, no word, a definitive word at least, on the future of the Hunter Pirates, who were so brave last night, losing to Cairns by 8 points. Shot clock to single numbers here for the Perth Wildcats as Bailey fires from long range, can't finish it. Rogers, the offensive rebound and the putback as he grabs his second field goal. 15-point lead now for the Wildcats, who have scored the last 6. And Cape Horn looks for the penetration and gets the job done. Wollongong needed that from their live wire. He has to do a good job now on Bailey. He sneaks down to the baseline. Shanahan, guarded by Cortez Groves, getting a screen from Redditch. And now works down low. Nice pass for Crawford against Cape Horn. Knife through a small gap, and Peter Crawford adds another 2. Shot clock not in effect here as we head towards half-time. Perth led by 2 after 1 quarter. It's 15 at the moment. But the Hawks will have the last say here. Ballinger against Rogers, retreats to the captain, Matt Campbell. Now Cape Horn needs to get something happening quickly against Redditch. Couldn't hit the target. And at halftime, the Perth Wildcats are feeling good. They have a 15-point lead. It's Perth 66, Wollongong 51. To hit a field goal, and the match is off to the free throw line.
And Perth go away from Sean Redditch. He caught the basketball. That's where they were going to Tony Ronaldson on a good seal. That's why they're so difficult to defend in these last couple of weeks of the season, is because they come at you in so many different ways. Redditch gets hot for a while. Tony Ronaldson gets good seals. David Bailey starts penetrating. Matt Shanahan post up smaller guards and been hitting the open three.
Game high 17-point lead now for the Perth Wildcats. Cortez Groves to Ben Castle. Ballinger going to the captain, Matt Campbell, guarded by Bailey. And now Rampton with a height advantage on Ronaldson. Pulls up for the jumper. It was a tough shot from Tony Rampton, equal to the challenge.
If you're Perth, just as they've been doing over the last few games, they'll live with that. So they're not going to send anybody on a double down to Rampton. They like that matchup. They don't think he's going to beat him.
Crawford pulls the trigger from long range and he ices a three. Even dozen in the match now for Peter Crawford after a quiet night on Wednesday. They just continue to look impressive, the Perth Wildcats. Again, Rampton working over Tony Ronaldson, forces away pass, gets the two. Ronaldson called for the foul. That's his third in the match. He had to sit in the first term when he picked up 2 quick fouls. Now he's got a third.
Tony Rampton, nice strong move. It's very difficult to move Tony Ronaldson down on the block.
Brendan Joyce no doubt revving up his troops at halftime. He's called time out as well here, 1 minute and 6 seconds into the second half.
Hey, sure. Cross screen. I think that was Benny's man. Cross screening, right? Okay, Benny, you stayed to help. Okay? Mate, you were hugging your man off the ball. I want you to stay in the help position. If his man comes up, Matty, you go to it. All right, then you pick up there. Okay, you know what I'm saying? If Benny has to help, I want you to come from Bailey to switch on that guy coming up. All right, then you go back out. You go straight swing the ball. Make that adjustment. Okay? Make that adjustment. Can we do that? Everything else is good. Company side, keep moving. Let's go. On the up. On the up.
We're not only having to look after the Wollongong Hawks, but as an assistant coach for the Australian Boomers, Brendan Joyce has had a hectic period. His team down by 16 here, early stages of term number 3. Rampton to the free throw line, where he's 1 of 4 so far in the match. Wildcats have taken 17 free throws, Wollongong 11. The winner of this match to go through to the semi-finals and an appointment with the Melbourne Tigers next Tuesday night. Live and exclusive here on Fox Sports. It's Bailey. Shakes Groves, now kicks it back to Ronaldson, who works into the paint. Off the window, couldn't finish it, but kept it alive. Bailey tried his luck from long range. Ronaldson got it again, and Bailey will set it up again. Redditch down low is fouled by Ben Castle. Well, Mabry with the call, and no shots to come here for Redditch. Not exactly sure what else they were anticipating he was going to do then.
And he was going to shoot it, but I guess...
Well, that's an inconsistent call.
Yeah, I was thinking I'm going to try and lay low on the refs this half, but, you know, they're lobbing to him, and that's a lob play. He had control of it, and he's looking to score. I thought it was pretty obvious he was looking to score. And Vaughn said he was on the ground, and maybe he just meant he wasn't going to give him a shot, because he was definitely in the air.
Peter Crawford called for the foul. It's going to be the second on Perth in this period. Likewise, Wollongong has committed 2 fouls since half-time and played less than 2 minutes. Matt Campbell against Bailey. Ballinger retreats to Groves. He slows it down at the top of the key. Working past Shanahan and Ronaldson, confronted by Redditch. Did all the hard work but couldn't finish it off. Reaching in, Ben Castle trying to keep it alive, but Perth will get possession despite good hustle from the captain, Matt Campbell.
Defense, everybody. Now.
the Hawks were expecting a bigger crowd than we have here tonight as well. They haven't got the home court advantage from their fans, so to speak, as Redic turns around and continues to pad his stats. 22 now to lead all scorers. Groves with 17, his next best in the match, and the lead is out to 20 for the first time in the game. Wildcats have scored the last 5. Groves from deep. Hills on 3 for the Wollongong Hawks.
Well, he cannot die wondering. He's got to get some shots off. You got to mix it up, not just shoot all jump shots. Try and get an opportunity to get to the rim as well and get to the foul line.
Bailey picks up the dribble. Now with single numbers on the shot clock. Crawford firing unsuccessfully. It spills to Ronaldson. Perth with another opportunity. Redic is fouled by Ben Castle. Interesting to see if we're going to the stripe here. I suspect not. He is carving them up at the moment.
But it's all within the structure. You know, when he was super hot in the first half, there were a few isolations with a lot of room. Wollongong weren't going to let that happen again in the second half. So now he's just patient and getting it within the structure of their offense.
Shanahan to restart. We played a tick over 3 minutes in the second half. And Perth Wildcats continue to manhandle the Wollongong Hawks at the moment as Bailey penetrates past Groves. Ben Castle reaching in, attracts another whistle. That's the 4th team foul on Wollongong after 3 and a bit minutes of this period. And Brendan Joyce, working over the referees, is bordering on a technical again.
Now, where do you clamp down? Ronaldson gets a good seal to start the second half. Peter Crawford hits a 3. Sean Redic gets a nice screen and roll situation on a great bounce pass and a good seal. And David Bailey now goes to the line for 2. You can't get any more well balanced than that.
"19-point lead as Troy Pillen rushes up the floor for the Wollongong Hawks, greeted by Tony Ronaldson. Picks up the dribble. Now to Groves at the top of the key. There's certainly some familiarity about this play from the Wollongong Hawks as Groves works on Redic into the paint, kicks to Castle. 5 on the shot clock as he elevates against Crawford. Couldn't finish it off, and Shanahan grabs the rebound. Perth doing it at both ends of the floor at the moment. Playing with a wave of confidence as Bailey stops and pops. Couldn't finish it from close range, and Ben Castle off and running. All his teammates ahead of him at the moment as he whips it to Campbell. Redic offers him the baseline. He accepts the offer. Now Castle to Groves at the top of the key against Peter Crawford. Single numbers on the shot clock. Bailey tries to relieve him of it. Behind the back play to Pillen. No look pass to Ben Castle. And that is a good finish. It was hard work, but they got the 2.
Yeah. Very generous on that description case. I was thinking more like that was ugly. Good result.
Whistle off the ball here as Crawford goes to the floor. Troy Pillen looking a little conspicuous at the moment. Groves behind the back. Pillen the no look. And then Ben Castle coming up with the finishing touches.
The problem is they need to get the basketball to Cortez Groves, but they need to do it with him coming off some screens or some kind of movement, because what's happening is he's getting the basketball and then just casually trying to beat people off the dribble, and then he's got 4 guys just standing around. You don't get many offensive rebounds when you have guys that are stagnant and just standing around. You don't get other people involved and getting cheap baskets when you're an easy target just standing there. They need better ball movement.
Troy Pillen scurries after the loose ball rebound. 4.5 minutes played, term number 3. 18 the spread at the moment as Groves works on Liam Rush. And now Redic. Ballinger to Capehorn against Ronaldson. Lost control of the ball, gets after it though with good hustle. Can he keep it alive? David Bailey comes up with it. Campbell has 2 to beat. Crawford goes to work off the window and adds another 2. Crawford has scored 9 points in this period of the 15 Perth have come up with.
Perth just playing so unselfish. Bailey does a good job of kicking it ahead. See, some guys are good when you kick it ahead. Pete Crawford gets it, and he has the ability to make the play. The nice soft one off the window. And that's the difference between Perth a month ago and Perth right now. They are just believing in one another. And just, God, they're just playing, letting the game come to them. And that's the man behind it all, Scott Fisher. Made some drastic changes, and you got to give him a lot of credit for the success that his team has had over the last month.
Cortez Groves firing from long range, comes up with a three. It's his 4th triple of the match. 17 the margin. Whistle provided here by Vaughan Mabry. Foul going to be called on Matt Campbell, and the game Wollongong over the limit in fouls. 17 fouls called on Wollongong, 16 on Perth so far.
Well, Cortez is lighting it up, but they just can't get any stops on the other end of the floor. As simple as that. Perth still shooting the basketball over 60% from the field.
19-point margin as Troy Pillen goes to work once more to Ballinger, who has a couple to beat, short-armed it. Pillen keeps it alive, but that's waved away. It was done illegally. An offensive foul is called on Troy Pillen, his 3rd personal.
Troy Pillen with a shove gets Tony Ronaldson out of the way. Tony with a little bit of acting as well. He'll go to the line. When you're out of position and you feel the defender's hands on your back, well, I know that's what I was taught to do.
Ronaldson gets the ball back, kept alive by his teammates. And now Bailey against Campbell. Wollongong cannot afford to foul. Perth will be going back to the stripe, and Capehorn has come up with a foul, caught in a mismatch against Sean Redditch, and he will be off to the free throw line. We saw on Wednesday night that Perth took 20 more free throws than the Brisbane Bullets, and at the moment they've taken twice as many as Wollongong have in this match, 25-12.
If Capehorn doesn't get that foul, he's in a mismatch. Redditch has got him, and he's got all kind of space.
Well, the problems continue to compound for the Wollongong Hawks. They trail by 22 points, 6.5 minutes left in this 3rd term, and Redditch sits down with 24 points and 8 rebounds. The rebound count is 31-12 in favour of Perth. Troy Pillen with Burston on the retreat. Now Ballinger, who's long overdue, caught the front of the rim. Bailey with the rebound. It spills to Rush, and Bailey's got it back again. He is everywhere at the moment. Going to Crawford and getting it back. Perth playing the game at their tempo. Bailey coughed it up, caught in 2 minds there. Capehorn forces the error. And goes to Groves, firing over the top of Liam Rush. It's off the money. Ballinger the offensive rebound, working against Ronaldson. Kicks it back to Capehorn, who started the play but can't connect, and Burston with the rebound. David Bailey with plenty to say at the moment, giving Matt Campbell nightmares, and now Ronaldson. In a test of strength with Troy Pillen, who reaches in but can't prevent Tony Ronaldson from adding the 2. His 1st field goal of the match for Ronaldson. 24-point lead. The Wildcats have scored the last 7 here. As Cortez Groves overcooks it from close range. Troy Pillen with the offensive rebound. Back to Groves, firing for 3. That's off the money as well, and Ronaldson puts a stop to it.
Come on, Hawks fans, come on. Let's get behind the ball and get back in this game. Everyone's going to help me. Let's see you coming.
Bailey. Now Burston, lob pass down low for Ronaldson, who takes on Troy Pillen, gets the 2, draws a foul. And it is all going south for the Wollongong Hawks.
Well, when I said that Perth were capable of playing just as well in the second half as they did in the first. I kind of said it half-baked, but they are. They haven't missed a beat.
Been a dominant display from the Perth Wildcats. And the Wollongong Hawks, they have big problems. 91 points, and Glenn Saville sums up the situation for his team. It's a 10-0 run from Perth. They lead by 27. Last time the Wildcats played in a playoff match in this venue, they won by 31.
That was a game where Ricky Grace was hitting hook shots, wasn't it?
It was a nightmare for Wollongong. 2003 in the semi-finals. In the corner, Cape-Horn can't finish it off. Working hard, Ben Castle in tandem with Rampton win it back for Wollongong. The Hawks have scored just 13 points in this period as Groves takes them on, needs help. Cape-Horn works inside Bailey, confronted by Rush. Now Matt Campbell forced into a tough shot by Burston. Couldn't come up with the goods. Perth just outplaying Wollongong at the moment at both ends of the floor.
We're not giving Perth's defense enough credit either. They're doing a great job of closing out to all those shooters.
Ronaldson has one rattle around the rim, wouldn't finish, but Boucher's got it back for Perth. Beyond his range, looks for some penetration, wanted the pass to Burston, but was cut out by the Kiwi Tony Rampton. And Boucher called for the foul here, impeding the progress of Ben Castle. It's the 4th team foul on Perth in this period.
Good call, but he anticipates where Ben Castle's going to go. He's a little bit late. Watch this. And he hits him right in the middle of the chest. He was moving. But those are the things that Dylan Boucher does for you. He hasn't taken one jump shot. But you see when he passes the basketball, is there anybody that makes better cuts? And he'll put it on the floor if you don't play him to shoot. That means he just gets a running start at you.
Well, Groves sits down for a rest at the moment, less than 4 minutes out from three-quarter time. Where are the points going to come from now for Wollongong? The captain, Matt Campbell, gets down low, and he makes it tumble as well. He's into double figures. Still Perth with a mammoth 25-point lead, a little over 3 minutes to play, term number 3. As Boucher looks for Rogers in a confined space, rised it enough to relieve him of possession, and now Cape-Horn. To Ben Castle, who finds Ballinger down on the baseline with an open look, and Ballinger gets his first points in the 3rd period. Back-to-back baskets in this term has been a rarity for Wollongong. And 23 is the margin. Less than 3 minutes to play until three-quarter time. Liam Rush elevating over Ballinger. Can't finish it. Boucher couldn't keep it alive. Cape-Horn gets it from Rice. As Ballinger and Ben Castle joining in. Nice pass. Excellent work from Ben Castle. Ballinger with a 2 and a chance at a three-point play. Maybe Wollongong's best play of the match.
Excellent pass by Ben Castle. Cape-Horn with a good pass to Castle and just a touch pass to Adam Ballinger. That's big.
Scott Fisher calls timeout. 2:38 to play. Hawks have scored the last 6. Here comes their run. Momentum with the Hawks at the moment, but they have a big hole to dig themselves out of.
Tony Rampton started off the game very well for the Wollongong Hawks. He has been a big target down low. This is how he starts the second half. Able to knock one down. And then he's a big, look at him. Tony Ronaldson is impossible to move off of the low block. Well, not impossible, because Tony Rampton just did it right there. But I don't know. Even though he's in double figures at 80% from the field, is he the guy that you're going to go to? He just needs to let the game continue to come to him and look for those offensive rebounds. Because rebounding, although the Perth Wildcats have outplayed them in every way and shooting from 60% from the field, the rebounds have killed the Wollongong Hawks tonight. The offensive rebounds, 15 for the Perth Wildcats. We'll have to hit up our stats guru to see how many of those they converted on.
Ballinger can't make the extra point. So 21 is the margin. The Hawks have scored the last 6. Bailey to Burston. Now Rogers, given plenty of latitude by Andrew Rice. Now Bailey with 7 on the shot clock. He finds Burston working on Ballinger. Caught under the hoop. Couldn't manufacture the shot. Campbell in traffic. Gets support from Capehorn. And now Ben Castle firing from long range off the front of the rim. And Liam Rush cleans up for the Wildcats. The speed of Bailey gets Perth back up the floor quickly. Burston from close range adds another 2. Burston now with 12 in the game. Season high of 16 for Matt Burston. Came back in November. It's in some danger. Capehorn getting the nice wraparound play for Andrew Rice, who's clubbed and will have to go to the free throw line.
Good foul. That's what they want. On the last possession, Ben Castle with a quick 3. I know he's been shooting the basketball better, but boy, they really needed a good shot there. Of course, a good shot would have been one that he hit, went down. Those are the type of shots you want your Matt Campbell to shoot, or you want your Cortez to shoot. You know, those are the ones that swing the momentum. Well, you're a role player. You got to play your role. And that doesn't mean threes in transitions.
Cortez Groves goes down behind play, slow to his feet, appeared to take contact to the shoulder. So Perth with a 5-on-4 break at the moment as Matt Shanahan penetrates. Get the lie by Boucher, but Rice eventually putting a stop to it as Campbell has Capehorn. Now Ballinger. Boucher gets back with some excellent D to relieve Wollongong of it. Hasn't scored in the match, Dylan Boucher, but he has 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Rush working the baseline, finding Rogers in a confined space from close range. He needed a second opportunity, but Rogers comes up with the 2. Less than a minute to play, term number 3. And the Wildcats with a 23-point lead. Campbell penetrating, kicks to Capehorn, Groves in the corner, open for the shot, can't finish it. Rice the offensive rebound. Another opportunity now for Wollongong. Rush has the job trying to contain Cortez Groves at the moment. He works past him, goes to Ballinger. Rogers with the excellent defensive play. Denies Ballinger the shot, and now Perth can slow it down for the last play of this third period. They started the term leading by 15. The margin's out to 23 at the moment and has been as big as 27. Shanahan needs to get busy. Less than 5 seconds till three-quarter time. Makes a beeline to the hoop. An uncontested layup. And at three-quarter time, the Perth Wildcats are looking like winners. With 1 quarter to play, the Wildcats lead by 25. It's Perth 97, Wollongong 72 here on Fox Sports.
Well, if Wollongong have any chance of getting back into this game, and I tell you what, it's slim, but they need to push the basketball. And one of the things they need to do is get it through Adam Capehorn, running the basketball, running it up. They look good when he has the basketball, motoring, getting it to his shooters like Matt Campbell, Cortez Groves, and also the bigs running the lane. That's when Wollongong look good, but you need stops to do that. Got to get stops to get the rebound, to get the fast break. And Perth shooting the basketball at 58%. They're not giving them that opportunity very often. Perth just have all the answers, as they did on Wednesday night against the Brisbane Bullets. any consolation to the Bullets fans, that was no fluke. They looked extremely good, extremely composed. And if you look at their balanced attack of scoring, Ronaldson 9, Shanahan 7, Crawford 18, Rogers 6, Bailey 17, Matt Burston with 12, and Redditch with 24. And you could say Sean Redditch has gone quiet, but that's not the case. He's just letting the game come to him, as all the Perth Wildcats are, and that's why they've just been impossible to stop.
You know, just a clean sweep to the basket. We talk about cutting this thing to 17. Hey, there's no D-boys. Right, you got to apply your rules. The two bigs out there. What are we doing on the on-ball? Hey, yeah, so take the ball to the screen. Where was the show? There's no show. Okay, right finger, ball pressure. Now, offensively here. Let's go. You play high, you play low. Let's go, 3 down. Right, kick back, go inside. On a random.
Well, the Wollongong Hawks have a big assignment ahead of them. Down by 25 points with 1 quarter to play. But if we can give them some optimism, it is the fact that the Adelaide 36ers came from 26 down in Perth in a playoff game at 3/4 time to prevail. So they don't need an NBL record, but they will need a miracle here. Underway with Wollongong having possession at the start of the 4th. And Campbell takes on Dylan Bouncer, forces up a tough shot, couldn't finish it, gets it back again. This time looking for Andrew Rice. Bouncer with a quick hand, stole the ball, but did it illegally, according to Vaughan Mabry.
Not only are Perth playing some good basketball and they're playing together, they are having a whole lot of fun. Did you see the hands of Dylan Bouncer? Gets a piece of the basketball. Rice will go to the line. We will let that baby run. We've seen David Bailey get up and do a little routine with Dylan Bouncer.
Well, the Wildcats start this final period with 4 bench players and Matt Shanahan out there. And Scott Fisher, in his 2nd season, what a job he is doing. Bouncer hands off to Shanahan, who gets Burston involved from close range. Matt Burston adds another 2. He has 14 in the match. They just continue to pile on the points here. Matt Campbell from 3-point territory. Hit 9 threes in a match earlier this year. The best in the NBL this season. And draws a foul. Campbell will restart to Cortez Groves.
Go, Dad.
Andrew Rice down low, working against Burston. Campbell goes to Ballinger instead. He has Rogers to contend with. Desperate to get to the hoop. Good D from Rogers. Forced him into a tough shot, but Ballinger keeps it alive. Now Caporn against Liam Rush. Found an opening and knocks down the shot. Excellent work from Adam Caporn.
He's capable of doing that. Very quick first step and get you retreating on your heels.
Groves picks up the foul. His 3rd and the 1st on Wollongong in this final period. Perth have committed 2 already. And Andrew Vlahoff, major owner of the Perth Wildcats, journeyed up to Brisbane on Wednesday, now here in Wollongong. I guess we'll see him in Melbourne on Tuesday with his team 24 up, 90 seconds played in this final period. Well, a lot of critics of Scott Fisher as a coach. Earlier in the season, many people believed that David Ingham was having a lot of input into how the structure of the Wildcats was working. And since David Ingham left the franchise, well, the Wildcats have maintained some excellent basketball. In fact, it may in fact be playing better now, and that's no slight on Dave Ingham. So I'm just trying to say that for the critics of Scott Fisher, I think they're munching on some words at the moment.
Yeah, no kidding. They have definitely responded since they made those changes. They have responded, and they've responded as a unit as well. And sometimes it takes a little adversity to pull a team together. You know, something that happens, and a team realizes, look, if we keep going about things the way that we're doing, you know, we'll be taking a long vacation very soon. And Scott, to his credit, has been a part of some winning programs. And in those winning programs, it wasn't always like just a wealth of talent. It was guys that played well together. And that's what his team's doing now.
Fisher, a 3-time championship winner and 2-time MVP of the league. Now getting the job done as a head coach as well. 90 seconds played in the final period. Perth by 24. Rogers going to work unsuccessfully. Burston, too big, too tall. Comes up with another 2. He has 16 to equal his season high.
They are just hammering him on the offensive glass. Caporn for 3 over Matt Burston.
9 in the match now for Adam Caporn. Perth have racked up 101 points. That's their season average, and we've still got 10 minutes to play in the fourth. Shanahan taking on Campbell. Dishing to Rogers, and he gets the squeak jam.
And David Bailey taking a break over there, and Matty Shanahan picks up where he left off on dribble penetration and finding guys point blank.
Campbell fires unsuccessfully. Liam Rush grabs the rebound. The Wildcats dictating the tempo here. Boucher finds Rogers working back door. He goes behind the back. Shanahan against Rice, who did a good second effort defensively, but it was illegal according to Ray Hunt. Well, they are irresistible at the moment, the Perth Wildcats. No matter what 5 they put on the floor, no matter what Wollongong does, Perth do it better.
You said it when you said that, Case. They sure have. I just like all the positions. You know, Matt Shanahan comes in and runs the point. David Bailey over there having a good time on a basketball party. He picks up where he left off. Burston comes in, picks up where Tony Ronaldson left off. They're playing great team basketball. So much fun to watch.
Except for the Wollongong supporters, who haven't had a lot to cheer about, and Grove shut down there by Rogers. Going coast to coast, Shanahan with his foot on the accelerator, drawing a foul. And it's starting to get embarrassing now for the Wollongong Hawks. With 9 minutes and 7 seconds left on the clock, people are starting to head for the doors.
Shanahan feels a hit, just throws it up in the air, goes to the line for 2. I've lived in Wollongong. There's no real need to leave early. You don't have to beat the traffic home. You know, some places there's a traffic, traffic hour. There's a traffic, a couple of minutes.
Caporn quickly up the floor to Matt Campbell. Shut down by Rush. Back to Caporn, looking inside where Rampton takes Rogers on. Game good D from Rogers, just putting himself about and now winning it back for Perth. Jeff Dowdell, the rub salt into the Wollongong wounds here. He checks into the game to give Boucher a rest. And Dowdell, the youngest player in the NBL, an 18-year-old, New South Wales Junior Player of the Year, averaged 20 points per game at the under-20 championships, and somehow the Wildcats snapped him up. Rogers goes to Redditch and tries his luck a second time. Redditch made everything in the first half, and here he is drawing a foul against a disgruntled Tony Rampton. 3rd personal on Rampton, 4th on Wollongong in this term.
When this fourth quarter started, I heard the PA say to all the fans, let's stay up and clap until the Hawks hit the lead. There have been some hands bleeding if they kept that up.
31-point margin now in favor of the Perth Wildcats. That was the margin they defeated Wollongong by the last time these teams were in a playoff situation at this venue. Coming in over the back, foul is going to be called on Ben Castle, and that is going to send Perth to the free throw line at the other end of the floor. Already the Wildcats have taken 34 free throws. Hawks have taken 17, and this has been a very impressive display. Scott Fisher trying hard to contain that wide smile. Cameron Tovey, the injured rookie, has been enjoying the spectacle as well. And Dowdell looking to become the 9th Perth player on the score sheet. Only Dylan Boucher yet to score in the game. Let's see what the Hawks can produce. Little over 8 minutes to play. Rice, a former Wildcat, takes on Redditch, who's called for the foul. It's his third, and the third on Perth in this period. And Andrew Vlahoff in the crowd tonight. This has been quite a display by the Wildcats.
Case, it's very impressive, I've got to say. I think no one would have expected this kind of margin at this point in the game, but full credit to our guys. They've been very focused for the last few weeks, and certainly the game in Brisbane on Wednesday and tonight is no exception.
Andrew, the guys just seem to have the same type of body language going into this game as they did against the Bullets, where, I mean, I could understand why they had that against the Bullets. They had beaten them 3 times in a row.
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to their own belief. You know, we believe that you know, we dropped a few games early in the season that put us down the ladder, and that we were a top 4 kind of team. So I think the proof is in the pudding here this evening.
And Hopper, we've heard conflicting stories about Sean Redditch and David Bailey. Are both signed for next season, or are you still working on it?
Well, Redditch is definitely signed, and Bailey's contract's in my pocket.
And you can't get it into his hands quickly enough.
No, he's played a fantastic game, and I think certainly from our point of view, you know, when we recruited David, we recruited him with this kind of playing level in mind, and I think he probably didn't do himself justice in the first 5 or 10 games of the season, but in the last 10, he's really justified our decision to invest in him.
Here's Ben Castle stripped of it by Jeff Dowdell. The Wildcats come forward again. They are having their way with the Wollongong Hawks. And just before we let you go, Andrew, can you give us a comment on Scott Fisher's performance since David Ingham has left the franchise?
I have no comment.
We'll leave it there and try our luck another time.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Andrew Vlahoff, a very happy man at the moment, as is Scott Fisher. 33 points is the margin. Hawks heading for their worst ever defeat at the Sandpit. Perth's biggest ever win over Wollongong, 37 points, and Shanahan and Rampton getting into it here with 6.5 minutes to play, well after the event. Tony Ramsden has been fired up all night. He's been aggressive, and that's what Wollongong need from him. Not going to take a backward step here.
They need about 33 points from him about right now.
Parson Groves intended for Rampton. He was unable to reel it in, and Perth will come up with possession. Six and a half minutes to play, and David Bailey almost losing it to Cape Horn, who now does steal it from Liam Rush. No doubt about his endeavour. And Crows with 23 points, leading the way for the Wollongong Hawks, but in traffic, it's stolen by Paul Rogers. And Steve, you mentioned we haven't spoken highly enough about the defense being played by Perth, and Rogers has been a big part of that.
Look at that. This comes, it's a clean block. When a guy's moving full speed, they've been able to deflect the basketball away and block shots in traffic.
Ballinger from close range is fouled. He will go to the free throw line. After making an enterprising start to the match, Ballinger had 7 in the first period, but only 6 since then.
Just got those hands past vertical. Perth just shooting a little bit under 60% at 58.8%. They've just been consistently dropping shots at a good rate.
Middle stages of the fourth period. After a tight first period where Perth led by 2 at quarter time, it's been largely one-way traffic, and David Bailey casually fires from long range. Redditch the rebound. Number 11 for him in that category. Off the money with that attempt. Dowdle dances into the paint with a happy feet and call for a travelling violation.
David Bailey with some harsh words for Dowdle. Perth don't want to be sloppy in the last 5.5 minutes of this game.
Caport, who's battled manfully tonight. Matt Campbell firing from deep off the front of the rim. Caport with the open look at the long rebound. He can't make it fit either. Dowdle gets the ball to Peter Crawford, and now Bailey. Wollongong have been restricted to just 10 points in this period. They are 3 of 14 from the field. Bailey goes to Redditch against Troy Pillen, and now Dowdle posting up Matt Campbell, trying to get the rookie involved. Turn around with a shot clock expiring in the background, came up short, and Caport back up the floor inside, 5 minutes to play from Wollongong. And as we have seen in the past in the NBL playoffs, the team that has to sit and wait sometimes doesn't have the momentum. And after winning in Brisbane in impressive fashion on Wednesday night, Perth have just continued the roll.
Well, you don't want to run into Perth right now after having a break. Like to say, a little sluggish. Perth run the floor well. And as focused as they are, if they get a quick jump on you, it's going to be hard to catch.
Ballinger with 17 points in the game, 5 rebounds, 29 is the spread. Paul Rogers gets a seat on the bench. Matt Burston comes back. And David Bailey hasn't had to do a lot tonight, but still finishing at the moment with 17 points, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. As Redditch works on Troy Pillen, still giving 110%. Pass from Redditch picked off by Caport. And now the alley-oop play for Cortez Groves, couldn't tip it in. Bailey grabs the rebound. Crawford wants it quickly. It goes in that direction. He did a good job to protect the ball, but couldn't get enough on the shot. But Jeff Dowdle scoops up the loose ball. Now Burston to Redditch from close range. Redditch now has 30 in the game. His career high of 32 came back on the 3rd of December, and that might be going by the wayside. The rebound count is killing Wollongong at the moment. In total, it's 53-23. The rebound count enormously weighted in Perth's favour, as are most statistical categories. Next up, they face the Melbourne Tigers. It begins on Tuesday night, and this is the Tigers' last 5 matches. They finished with a road double in New Zealand. winning both matches by double figures. The last match was without the services of Dave Thomas. Prior to that, Melbourne came here and lost a tight one by 3 points to Wollongong, which will give Perth fans plenty of ammunition to think that they can get the job done. Defeated Cairns in overtime, had to do it the hard way, and lost in Cairns prior to that. Interestingly, Perth and Melbourne have played 4 times this season. Melbourne have won 3 of them. One of those was an overtime match that perhaps Perth should have won, and Perth did defeat Melbourne by 7 points in the match that they did win.
I don't think the Wildcats are afraid of playing anybody right now with the confidence that they are playing with. But I tell you what, going up against Chris Anstey and the Tigers are a completely different story to Wollongong and the Brisbane Bullets. They've been getting it done all year long, and they got a wealth of talent out there that enjoy playing in the postseason. So I tell you what, they have answered some questions in their first 2 elimination finals, but if they can get by the Tigers, well, if anybody can get by the Tigers, they're for real, but they deserve to be thought of as legitimate champions.
Well, they are 4-time champions already, the Wildcats, with Adelaide the best in NBL history. Crawford thought he was fouled by Capehorn, who denied the dunk. Whistles kept away by the referees. Bailey from long range couldn't finish it. Ballinger and Pillen wrestling for the rebound. Now Capehorn. Well, to their credit, the Wollongong Hawks have not thrown in the towel at any stage, as Pillen goes to work with an excellent finish and draws a foul in the process.
Wollongong keeping their head up, still playing hard. Troy Pillen doesn't know any other way. PC for the jam is denied by Adam Capehorn. No call. And then somehow Troy Pillen is able to squeak that one off the window for a nice soft deuce. He'll go to the line. We'll get to check out that shooting form. Oh, yeah. Our director was very nice and pulled into a wide shot just before he let it go.
3.5 minutes to play. Jeff Dowdle firing unsuccessfully. Pillen with the rebound. Capehorn, Ballinger quickly up the floor. It's the latter who gets it, and off the window, Ballinger adds another 2. He has 19. Andy Groves with 23 has more in the match for the Wollongong Hawks, but it's 27 the margin. And Wollongong just playing for respect and pride at the moment. Burston looking for Redditch, who's bumped by Troy Pillen. Free throws to come now for Sean Redditch. Troy Pillen picks up the foul. It's his 5th personal.
Another good steal by Sean Redditch. And all the players that they have tried on him tonight have had no answer. The man is 12 for 17 from the field. Is there any such thing as a quiet 31?
He's looking to equal his career high here, and does so. 32 points equals the haul that Redditch came up with against the Melbourne Tigers the last time they played back on the 3rd of December, and that is all for Sean Redditch tonight. 32 points and a game high 12 rebounds as well. As Campbell gets it from Phillip, goes to Ballinger, still working hard, and Ballinger adds another 2.
I know he just exploded for those 12 points in the second quarter, but other than that, he doesn't stand out as, the guy that was looking for his shots the whole time. He was really patient and got it within their offense.
Capehorn zigzagging up the floor, guarded by Liam Rush. Now with some work to do as he retrieves the situation. Rush called for the foul. That will send Adam Capehorn to the free throw line for the first time in the match. And the Perth Wildcats have won every quarter so far. And remembering that in the 3 regular season matches, Wollongong won all 3 and won 3 of the 4 quarters in each match. But this has been a completely different story.
Ballinger's been injured. He's been playing 15, maybe 20 minutes in the last couple of games. No Glenn Saville. Campbell's form has been down. You just had to wonder where they were going to get the points from tonight.
25 the margin. That's where we started this final period. A little over 2 minutes to play. And Bailey to Burston and getting it back. Now Rush. With John Phillip ahead of him, looks for the penetration. He's an athletic commodity. Liam Rush, he draws contact off to the free throw line. Not only have Perth been dominant in this match, but Scott Fisher's been able to rest his key players. Oh, for the Wollongong Hawks, well, the long faces tell you a sad tale. They finished in the top 4 at the end of the regular season now for the last 6 years. But a sudden death elimination quarter-final is all they will be participating in 2006.
The whole idea, and it's very difficult to do, much easier said than done, is to be hot at the right time. And, you know, you need some luck with injuries or no injuries. And the form of your players wants to peak at this time. And Wollongong just were not there.
Campbell penetrating. Ballinger from close range did a good job to manufacture a successful shot. Well, every team has had to deal with injuries this year. It's just when you get them. In fact, only one of the 11 teams in the NBL was able to have more than half their roster play every game. Wollongong had only 5 players play all 32 games. Alley-oop play for Rush. What a finish for the Perth Wildcats. The nice assist from David Bailey, who celebrates with his teammates on the bench. And Liam Rush gets the alley-oop dunk just to rub salt into the wounds.
What a pass. Even a better reaction by David Bailey. He's just out there having fun. He's been a breath of fresh air for them.
Capor to John Phillip, firing from deep. It's all oxygen. Ball knocked out of court, last touch by Perth. Aaron Gleeson unable to keep it alive, but Wollongong will get it back. Andrew Vlahoff with plenty to be excited about. His team haven't been to the semi-finals since 2003 when they lost in the grand final to the Sydney Kings. As Troy Pillen adds another 2 for the Wollongong Hawks, but this is all academic now. Little over a minute to play. Bailey to Crawford. Burston down low wrestling with Gleeson, but they go to Rush taking on John Phillip. He can't complete it, and Pillen grabs the loose ball. A little out of control, but that's normally the case with the truck. And now from close range, Gleeson comes up with the point. .23 the margin. So credit to Wollongong for not running up the white flag. They've outscored Perth in this final period. And Bailey milking the clock down to single digits as Burston is fouled by Gleeson. And he is off to the free throw line. Taking a knock to the leg, which he's had problem with so far this season. Both teams have committed 28 fouls in the match. Both averaged 24 during the regular season. And the Wildcats supporters have cranked out the stogies already. Maybe a little premature. They usually come out around grand final time, but why not? Perth are irresistible at the moment. Burston can't complete the free throws though, which would have given Perth their highest score of the season. At the moment, the 121 is the same they scored against Adelaide back on the 28th of October at home. And here's John Phillip peeling off a triple. His first points in the game to drag the margin back to 20. But the Perth Wildcats have not only knocked over the Brisbane Bullets, but 48 hours later, they have taken out the number 3 seed. And for the first time in 3 years, the Perth Wildcats are going to the semi-finals. It is all over for the Hawks, and the Perth Wildcats have won it convincingly by 20 points. Perth 121 has defeated Wollongong 101 here on Fox Sports. 29 points to 24 in favour of the Wollongong Hawks in the final term, but this one has been over for some time. The Wildcats led by 15 at half-time, and the margin was never reduced inside of that at any stage in the second half. A very impressive display from Scott Fisher and the Perth Wildcats, who have now won their last 5 games, including 2 sudden death finals, to make it through to the last 4 and a semi-final clash in a best-of-3 scenario against the Melbourne Tigers. I know Rashad Tucker will be looking forward to that against his former team, where he starred earlier in the year, and Andrew Vlahoff can't keep the smile off his face. Perth moved into the playoffs with a 16-16 record, but they are playing their best basketball at the right time of the season. And their travelling fans are rewarded with a very impressive display. And their 2 American imports, they're standing by with Steve.
Well, the N1 player of the game is Sean Redditch, but David Bailey wants to say something, you know, and when you play that well and you play with that much excitement, you can't deny the man.
You know, I just said I wanted to tell the fans of Perth that we was going to try to get a home game and play again there, and we did that. And I want to say happy birthday to Mariah and Julia. Wildcats, go Wildcats.
All right, Sean, excellent game. What I was most impressed about was when you were hot and they were getting you the basketball, you were scoring at a great rate. But then when it wasn't there, you were just so patient.
Yeah, I mean, we got really anything we wanted tonight. Everybody stepped up, and I think that's the best we've played all year. And, you know, we just want to continue that momentum down to Melbourne now.
I mean, it just seemed to be clicking in every way for you. I mean, when they went to that extended pressure, it seemed to bother you for about 2 possessions. You made the adjustments. You seemed to make the adjustments all night long.
Yeah, I think, you know, we made the adjustments every time they tried something new. We countered it. So, you know, they're a great team, and we knew we had to come out and play well to get a win.
Did you feel like you could exploit the big men of Wollongong with your quickness? Because it just seemed like you had an answer for every single guy that they put on you, whether he was bigger or smaller, really.
Yeah, I was just trying to get, you know, take the opportunities when I got them, and, you know, teammates got them into the right spots, and I just tried to produce for them. You know, we just, you know, our season was on the line tonight, so, you know, we just had to come out and play as good as we could.
Was there any shot in particular when you were like, man, I'm seeing it like a hula hoop tonight?
I think when I hit that fadeaway in the lane over, I think Rampton, I told the guys, you know, if you see me open, try and give me the ball. But you know, everybody played well tonight. You know, that's the best I've seen we played all season.
We just seem to be riding on a wave of confidence. You know, when did that start? You know, it looked like you guys picked up where you left off against Brisbane, but you looked like you had that going into the Brisbane game. I thought it was just because you won 3 in a row, but obviously the Hawks had the advantage over you going into this one, but it didn't look like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been confident all year. We've had ups and downs, a lot of injuries, and you know, everyone's starting to really play well. Rogers and Burston are coming and giving us great minutes. Liam Rush dunking the ball, so, you know, Dylan Boucher is, you know, amazing on defense. So everybody's just playing their role right now.
Are you guys afraid of anybody?
You know, if we play like we played tonight, you know, I think we can compete with any team in this league, but, you know, it's going to be a tough series against Melbourne. They're a great team, so we're just going to have to go back and try and see what we can do to exploit them too.
All right, thanks, Sean.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Sean Redditch, the M1 player of the match, and smiles all round for the Perth Wildcats. They defeated Brisbane, they've knocked over Wollongong, and now they are into a best-of-3 scenario against the Melbourne Tigers. The action continues tomorrow night.